5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
What exactly inspired the story for Robot Stories?
Robot Story, well, it's 4 stories. They're kind of Twilight Zone-y. They're kind of Ray Bradbury-esque. And I grew up reading science fiction and just love science fiction. And when I was trying to figure out what I could do for my first feature, I had written these short stories essentially as screenplays and realized they kind of fit together thematically. And also realized that it was something that I could finally do for a reasonable budget.
What were some of the challenges in trying to do a science fiction story on an indie budget?
Well, we really had to decide what our priorities were. What was most important within each story? Was it the location? What was the most important element? Because we had 4 different stories to tell. And then we sat and decided what was most important to us, which was the best way to tell each story the cheapest way possible.
But then, let me ask you too, in doing a genre movie like this, Robot Stories doesn't really fit what film festivals actually put in normally. It's usually earnest coming-of-age films. I mean, this really, does it set it apart, or does it actually hurt you?
I think it helps us. You know, some festivals, sure, it's probably not going to be their cup of tea, but you know, we're getting into so many festivals, it's blowing us away, and we're getting great audiences at these festivals. It's the genre piece, which you're right, you don't tend to see at film festivals, but it's totally stories from the heart, and these are stories about families and couples struggling with life and death, and I mean, they're very deeply felt stories, and folks have been responding to that. I think it's a movie that I think fans of smart science fiction really dig a lot.
Well, to me, the best science fiction has nothing to do with the hardware, the spaceships, the robots, the laser guns. It has to do with real human stories, and I think how technology affects man.
Yeah, exactly.
I started volunteering 7 years ago.
Well, I've been a volunteer with South by Southwest since it began.
You know, if you can't afford to buy one of these badges, one of the best ways to get in and see movies is to volunteer.
I make the training video.
Take a look at this video. If you have questions, we'll answer them after the video.
So what is your job at the festival?
I'm in the holding pen.
And this is the volunteer holding pool.
I just check badges.
I tell people when they can go to lunch.
I tend to just run around a lot.
I just keep out the freeloaders, man.
What would you consider one of the shittier jobs? Not yours, but there's got to be some jobs that are just horrible.
So far, all I've done is just sit around and wait.
The most annoying thing is some really rude people.
I'm volunteering mainly to see all the movies.
It's the networking and it's the parties.
What do you really want to do?
Make films.
I want to make a documentary before I die.
I want to write and direct.
How many hours a day do you work?
Today we work 10. It varies.
Is it worth it?
Certainly, of course.
Well, actually, Elvis is dead. Mr. Half knows that, don't you, Mr. Half?
Hell no, I'm right here. I ain't dead.
You were an Elvis impersonator, remember?
Look, I was just impersonating myself, okay? I couldn't do nothing else.
So we're here at the Millennium Entertainment Complex, where Bubba Hotep is about to make its premiere here in Austin, Texas. So Don, tell us I want to ask you what inspired you, but where the hell did you get the idea for Bubba Hotep?
Well, I didn't create the idea. It's based on a short story by a Texas author. His name's Joe Lansdale.
I came up one time I said, what if we had a mummy from East Texas? What would his name be? It'd be Bubba. And then we thought Hotep, and I thought, well, that's a great title. And I put it aside. And then when all this stuff came together, I had the title.
It's just a wacky story about what happened to Elvis. Because, you know, a lot of people have been asking for a lot of years, what did happen to Elvis? Actually, it's the first Elvis versus a mummy movie, and it's something that had to be made. We have to see Elvis kick some mummy ass.
Now tell us, Bruce Campbell actually plays Elvis in the movie, yes. And the performance is inspired. How did you get him to do it?
I think the idea, what he liked about it, was the concept of, you know, a lot of people have tried to play Elvis, but nobody's played Elvis at age 69, so it's a completely different, completely new Elvis. You got Bruce doing what Bruce does best, which is fighting zombies, but in this case, it's a mummy.
Don't make me use my stuff on you, baby.
Bruce Campbell from Bubba Hotep couldn't make it here to South by Southwest, but we've scored a phone interview, and if we're lucky, he'll connect us with the king.
Hello.
Hello, is this Elvis?
Who's this, man?
This is Chris Gore calling from the South by Southwest Film Festival. I'm just curious what you think about this movie that seems might actually expose what you've been up to.
Actually, most pictures about me, they're pretty
Just 4, man. This one here is Bubba Hotep. I'm pretty pleased because it puts the Grace back in Graceland, man. Most people think that I died straining at stool, all right? And look, man, that's no way to go out for a king, baby. And this here Bubba Hotep kind of tells it like it is. So that's the whole story, amigo.
The lineup at this year's South by Southwest was jam-packed with great movies. Here's a quick roundup of some of the coolest films. If you could demonstrate for a second, give us the basics.
But it all starts from the embrace. It's like, you know, whatever. Very special thing.
And it's for you, it's not for others.
Spoof, dope, crank, creep, call it what you will. It's all methamphetamine.
It takes a village to raise a child thing. What do you do when the village fails? Where does our responsibility to people end?
American Dancer is a movie about 4 men whose lives are changed forever by the adoration of screaming women.
Only gonna be phone in the house if some emergency. That's it. Period.
But that's not fair. What about if there's an emergency? You're not home.
The emergency is gonna be when I be home.
My mind is exactly where it's been since the day we met.
We haven't really seen each other properly in the last couple of years, have we?
It's 10 p.m. on a Sunday, and things are just getting started here. But unfortunately, this wraps our South by Southwest episode of Festival Pass. I'll see you at the next fest. Action. Hi, I'm Chris Gore, here with another episode. Bad things begin to happen. Keep it up. Obviously, you spent a lot of time around these male dancers. Could you give me some tips?
The first thing you need to do is get a bikini wax.
Instead of a bikini wax, we wax the pubic area from front to back, taking everything off. We also do men.
Hover, so I gotta hover. Okay, so I'm hovering. I'm hovering.
When it comes to dancing, I can pretty much do that kind of 80s white guy dance.
Right,
you know, like this.
I have no idea what I'm doing. This is awful.
Hip hop, what do you call it?
I don't know. I'm
All
terrible.
these kids are
I'm terrible.
phenomenal.
I gotta turn around. I got nothing. I got nothing.
You just made $5.
I just made $5.
Whatever you do, you can't show me drinking beer on camera. Would that dehydrate?
That would dehydrate you, yeah.
I need some more of my apple juice. I have to stop drinking beer. It's not gonna happen. I like to call it my special apple juice.
I need some more apple juice.
These are remarkable. They're called hornback alligator. But the remarkable thing about these particular boots, these are twin.
Could you look at our cameras and just say...
Wait, you're going to ask me to give a plug?
Not a plug. It's not a plug. You think for your answering machine.
But the really fascinating thing, these are the last 2 breeding females of the species.
I'd rather not.
No, not a plug, just to say South by Southwest. Is that cool? Is that all right? Is that cool?
What do you want me to say?
Is it all right if I smoke pot in this film?
All that people ever want you to do is give plugs, you know?
No, it's for the festival. It's not for our channel. We wouldn't have you do that. That's too cheesy.
Go ahead, throw blood at me. I don't care, obviously.
I feel so relaxed. I'm kind of gassy. I feel like a new man.